Hi, I'm Pastor Grant, the chaplain at Country House in Wilmington, Delaware. I want to talk about attitude today. You know, Viktor Frankl, author and survivor of the Nazi camps, wrote in his landmark book, Man's Search for Meaning. We who lived in the concentration camps can remember those who walked through the huts comforting others, giving away their last piece of bread. They may have been few in number, but they offer sufficient proof that everything can be taken from a person but one thing, the last of the freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. How often we have seen this in the lives of those we know, even in ourselves, both from a positive and a negative point of view. Some see the glass as half full, even when they are on death's door. Others see it as half empty from the moment they come into this world. And many see the same thing in our nuclear or extended families. Yes, attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. It's the difference between getting up in the morning and saying, "Good morning, Lord," or "Good Lord, it's morning." I confess, some mornings I say one thing, other mornings I say the other. But here's the thing I think we need to remember. Attitude is a little thing that can make a big difference. I knew a patient, a mother, on my previous hospice care that had a grown son whose positive attitude really kept him going even though he was partially disabled from a very rare disease. She said that once she tried to tell him that she was sorry for what had happened to him, but he stopped her in mid-sentence and he said, "Mom, don't ever feel sorry for me. I don't feel sorry for myself, so you ought not to feel sorry for me either." His attitude helped him to live a full and meaningful life. If we're to be honest, I think it's hard not to be afflicted with the problem of a negative attitude that is called, in so many medical terms, hardening of the attitudes. I always thought it was a funny phrase with no medical meaning, but recently I read that indeed there is a medical name for this condition, and they call it hardening of the attitudes. It is important to remember that our own attitudes are something that we can change. All of us. We each know how our attitudes affect our work, as well as the atmosphere around us. You know, attitude is a little thing that can make a big difference. In Philippians 2, 5 through 11, Paul told us this about having the right attitude. He said, "You must have the same attitude that Christ had. Though he was God, he did not think of equality with God as something to cling to. Instead, he gave up his divine privileges, he took the humble position of a slave, and he was born as a human being. When he appeared in human form, he humbled himself in obedience to God and died a criminal's death on the cross. Therefore, God elevated him to the place of highest honor, and he gave him the name above all other names, that at the name of Jesus, every knee should bow, in heaven and in earth and under the earth, and every tongue declare that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father." Yes, we're to have Christ's attitude. And to remember, attitude is a little thing in our life that makes a big difference.